Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Power of Perception Twitter account and the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Subscribe, rate, comment below if you like this audio, and also tell your friends and people that you care about this channel as well. Today we're going to talk about focus on progress. You know, one of the most important things that a person can do is find something to focus on. And when you begin to understand the value of complete and total focus, you will also begin then to understand the value of choosing your focus in a more progressive and idealistic, not idealistic as in an ideal, but focused on the idea of one thing, and that one thing needs to be progress. The more you're focused on progress, the more progress you will make. Now, oftentimes, one thing that I see clients do all the time, and I've worked with people all over the world. I've worked with people in literally dozens of countries and all over the U.S., all over Canada. One thing I notice people do is they focus on outcomes more than progress. And here's the issue with that, and here's why. At the end of the day, that doesn't actually work. The reason it doesn't work at the end of the day is simply this. You cannot and you will not get to a place of positive growth if your focus is on the measurable deliverables. That is, the things that you must do to be good enough versus your actual progress point. That is to say, when you understand the value of the progress you are trying to make, when you understand the value of the things you're trying to do, it is then that you will begin to understand that each step matters. You know, oftentimes I have clients that have really big goals or really small goals. It really doesn't matter the size of the goal. It matters the size of their relationship with the progress they're trying to make. Now, if they say, I'm only going to be happy when, and I hear this so often, I'm only going to be happy when I have a relationship. I'm only going to be happy when I have more money. I'm only going to be happy when I have a new job, or when I complete my schooling, or when I get married, or when I have children, or when I whatever. Then what happens is the window for happiness, thereby the window for the hormones like dopamine and serotonin to be released in the body, becomes so small, which means you're going to live at a lesser rate than you want to. Now, if you live a progress motivated mindset, I'm going to be happy, I'm going to be satisfied, I'm going to be fulfilled with every bit of progress I make, you check in and make life simpler for yourself. Now, the illusion of competition is another factor that you've got to consider. The illusion of competition says the following. It says that you are defined by, or could be defined by, the things that you do more so than who you are, and that's a problem in general. The reason that that is a true problem is because at the end of the day, if you define your success by what you do and not who you are and who you're becoming, you will then go, I have succeeded or failed based on this unmeasurable manner of being or manner of speaking. And the problem with that, when you define yourself by how others see you or what you have accomplished, is you're setting yourself up to always feel not enough. And that feeling of not enough causes anxiety, panic, frustration, anger, fear, doubt, self-loathing, self-hatred, and all these other lower emotions. Now, if you go, I am successful because I make progress. I am successful because I'm one step closer. Let's use an analogy, and I've actually had this analogy before with clients I've worked with. I work with a lot of clients who have weight-related issues or health-related goals. And I worked with a lady several years ago, and she knows who she is. She's probably listening to this. And she was trying to lose 100 and some odd pounds. And she said, it's too big. The doctors have told me I'll never get where I want to be. The doctors have told me that I'm going to die if I don't get this under control, but I don't believe that I can, and there's no way that I can, and this is horrible, and this is miserable, and it's uncomfortable, and it's no fun, and it's all these things. Well, wait a minute. She set herself up to believe that she can't do it. And so we needed to interrupt that pattern. We needed to interrupt the pattern of what she believed was possible, and how we did that was I said, can you lose 1 pound? And she said, Of course, but what does it matter? I said, just do that. Just focus on losing 1 pound. Focus on the ability to lose 1 pound. So she came back a week later and she said, I did it. And I said, look, all you've got to do that is 99 more times. All of a sudden she goes, wait, the progress is manageable now. And it clicked in her head. You must have manageable progressive steps in order to be successful with anything in your life, not because you can't be any other way, but because when the manageable steps of progress become your mission point, when they become what matters to you, every day matters, and you'll show up and you'll be more engaged in your daily life. Now, here's the reality. You can come up with 100 reasons why your progress isn't enough. But there's one reason that it is. And the answer to that is at least moving. You are at least growing. You are at least going forward. And if you're not going forward, then you're either stagnated or going backwards. And both of those are worse than going forward, even if a little bit. So when you have a good relationship with progress, it looks like this. What can I do right now, this moment? What can I do in this moment completely to accomplish and get where I need to be? What can I do when it matters to me how I feel? What can I do when it matters to me that I want to be working towards something on a consistent basis? A good relationship with progress also says, my progress cannot be measured by where I was yesterday. My progress cannot be measured by where I should be next week. Should is a dirty word. Get it out of your vocabulary, because when you live with your shoulds, you end up in a pile of, well, pig. You get my point. You end up with a place where you've failed, because if you don't get to where you should be, then you think you are a failure as a person. And if you get where you should be, you wonder, you second guess, was it enough? Did I do enough? Am I enough? So you've automatically set yourself up with your shoulds to be a failure. So instead say, my goal is progress, and every day that I make progress, I am a success, and every day that I am a success is a good day. So now when you've set those standards on progress, you've also set them to be at whatever rate of speed, whatever rate of fluency, whatever rate of efficiency that you need for them to be. Focus on that progress and you will watch your life grow. You'll also watch your brain begin to respond in a different way, because you will feel like you actually matter, like you can make that difference, like you can do the things that really count. And when you feel that you can do the things that really count, when you feel that you can accomplish things on a deeper level, on a deeper scale, and when you feel that you are capable of doing things that you didn't think you could, well then, in that moment, you are more than enough. And if you're more than enough when you're accomplishing those things, if you're more than enough when all of those things come together, when you're more than enough that those things start to become more manageable, then you can tackle bigger stuff. But it's step by step, it's progress. You see, that's the thing about progress. It's always there for you if you choose to take it on. Now, when you set expectations that your progress is bigger than what you believe you can handle, you'll fail or fall every time. Now, there's nothing wrong with failure. Matter of fact, embrace it, because when you fail, you learn. But the fact of the matter is, you have to come back to one central theme, and that is, even if I have fallen short of my expectations, there's always progress right now today. Even today, in this moment, you can go out and do something great. You can create, you can be a creator, you can make a difference, you can have a better relationship, you can show up to do things, you can work on that debt. Even if you pay off $5 towards it, it's $5 less that you have to pay off later. Even if you're focused on what you haven't done yet, you can still focus on what you can still do, and that is a progress mindset. You see, when you live to other people's expectations of what you should do, you've already failed, because you've disconnected from yourself. When you disconnect from yourself and you're living somebody else's life, what you're really doing is saying, I'm not worth it. Their view of the world is. Now, you can change your rules, you can change your expectations, you can change your focus, you can change your meaning, but if you don't change your relationship with progress, you'll have to do a whole lot more work on a consistent basis. When your view of progress is, you are my master, when your view of progress is, you are my best friend, when your view of progress is, you are my motivator, when your view of progress is, you are the definition of where I want to be and who I want to become, then and only then will you begin to see the true power in you, because then you will see that the fulcrum of momentum falls into alignment with everything that you want. When progress becomes your motivating factor, you no longer judge by what other people are doing. You don't have time. Because then you go, how can I do it again? And how can I do it bigger? And how can I do it more? And how can I do it more consistently? And this feels good, and I don't care what other people are doing, because I feel good about what I've done. I feel good about what I'm doing and where I'm going, because I believe in my relationship with progress. And progress is a process. It doesn't mean that you have to go quickly all the time. Now, your car, I want you to think about your car for a minute, or the vehicle that you use most often. Your car can go 120 miles an hour. But does that mean it should go 120 miles an hour in every situation? Probably not. If you're on a road that is icy, or a road that's covered with rain, or a road with a ton of potholes, like where I live, you probably don't want to go 120 miles an hour. You might not even want to go 60 miles an hour. But if you're on a drag strip somewhere in the middle of Arizona or New Mexico, or a stretch of highway where you can be on a racetrack, or if you're in a situation where you're on an interstate and you can hit cruise control and you can keep going and keep going and keep going at 75, 80 miles an hour, and there's a stretch of several hundred miles, can you operate at that level? Of course you can. Why? Because you believe that your progress can maintain that level or that state. You have to have a different relationship with progress in order to continue to grow, continue to develop, and continue to become the best version of yourself. Now, here's the other thing. Don't focus on progress as just one version of you. Focus on progress in every area of your life, and you will be much, much more fulfilled. You'll be much happier. You'll be much healthier, because then when something else feels stuck, you can work on this over here. When your relationship isn't in order, at least you can work on your book. When your book feels like you've got writer's block, you can work on your health. When your health feels like you've done enough today and you want that piece of chocolate peanut butter pie, you can go get that, because you've done enough. You've earned the right, or you've earned the ability to get where you want to be. Now, here's the really, really interesting part of that. Here's the meat of that. If you have multiple things you can work on, even when one thing isn't going well, even when one thing isn't going exactly as you planned, you can look at and look for ways to make progress in other areas of your life, thereby engineering your brain to feel like you are still doing something good, even if you're not doing exactly what you want to be doing. If you've got 4, 5, 10 projects or areas of life that you want to progress in, if you want self-study or self-mastery, or if you want to listen to tapes and learn something new, or if you want to go create art, or if you want to eat healthier, or if you want more time with your friends, all of these are things that you can progress towards. Every relationship you have needs you to show up for progress too. So if you've got 20 friends, if you've got 20 people that you deal with on a regular basis that matter to you, you can dial into anybody that makes you feel good at a given moment. You can check on all 20 of those people, plus all the other things mentioned. You see how there's points of intersection in every area of your life where things really start to come together, things really start to grow, things really start to line up and work together for you and all that you have going on. And when they really start to line up for you, and when they really are in alignment with the best part of you, it is then that you can go, I am doing enough. I feel like this is enough, and I have enough to handle all that's in front of me. Now, when you begin to feel that way, it's then that you begin to own your life. And it's then also, and here's a challenging thing, the people in your life that are negative, the people in your life that want to stay at a lower level, or want to stay at the complaining, grumbling, nothing ever changes for me level, you'll have less interest in them, because you will have a relationship with progress that they don't have. Now, you can either introduce it to them if they're ready, or you're going to have to outgrow them. You're going to have to step beyond them. You're going to have to kind of wait for them to catch up with you. Now, you can't force them to do it, and here's the thing. Change happens for two reasons. Change either happens because you desire a better life, or because you're desperate to avoid a worse one. Change doesn't stick for any reasons other than those. And so you can't force someone to desire something and you can't force someone to want better for themselves. So sometimes it means outgrowing somebody else and surrounding yourself with a whole different group of people. Sometimes it means growing into a new direction when you have that relationship with progress. There is no one on the planet, doesn't matter your circumstances, that can't be living at their own personal best. And anything less than living at your best is an excuse and a rationalization for being less than you're capable of being. Now, you can choose to do that, but it's not going to lead you to happiness. It's not going to lead you to wealth. It's not going to lead you to satisfaction. I encourage you, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody, this is Scott Golden, Golden Opportunities Coaching, and I encourage you to rate, subscribe, share this with friends on social media, wherever you're at, and above all else, own your life. Until next time, stay in touch, stay connected, stay committed, everybody.